What's up, guys? Blue Player here. Gonna go ahead and talk about the Q&A that Undead Labs posted. But before I do anything, let me apologize for not posting a video sooner. I was on vacation, and 2 hours before that vacation started, I was sitting in the airport, and I knew Undead Labs was gonna post something because they hadn't in a while. I hadn't gotten to upload a video in a while, and I check, and of course, there it is. So the whole vacation, I'm reading this thing, trying to get it all set up so that I can actually do a video when I get back, have it done the same day. And I come back, and my video editing software takes a $200 dump all over my computer. Got it all fixed though, so from now on, perfectly fine, on schedule. Another thing I want to address is I have a lot of people asking if I'm going to do a Let's Play, and this game is going to be freaking amazing, so of course I am. If you do want to see that, subscribe, because, I'm just going to be shelling them out. I can probably see me losing my day job because of this thing. But either way, I have a lot of information. I'm going to make it as easy as I can on y'all, because I don't know how many have read it, but it was long as hell. I'll put the URL, or the link, in the description as well as an annotation. But let's go ahead and get this thing started. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to talk about as far as the game goes is skills, mainly because it had the most questions towards it. Sonya brought up some really good points in it as well. The first one being that this is a permadeath game. So let's say you have one character and you've been working on him for a really long time and his skills are all boosted up. Let's say he dies, and you didn't take care of all the other characters in your community. You are then left with an entire crud bucket of a community. Another thing that she brought up is there's going to be limited utilities. So let's say you want a guy to be really good at shooting. You go out there with all your bullets and you start unloading on everybody. You're getting all these headshot combos. And then you come back and there's a horde at your base. And, oh, guess what? You don't have any bullets because you used them all on all the other zombies. So, she really pretty much said that there's got to be some sort of balance to it. Sure, you want your skills to be up because it depicts how well you're going to do in a certain situation, but at the same time, you want to make sure that all your survivors are getting worked on, not just you. You also want to make sure that your community's getting fed, you're getting rest, you're getting all the good stuff that you need. Pretty much no one's getting left behind. Now, when you aren't playing a character, that character isn't going to be getting any skill. So let's say there's two of you out there shooting zombies, you and one of your buddies. Buddies is an NPC. And your NPC is killing the same amount of zombies as you are, but you are going to be the only one who is ranking up in the shooting skill. You have to be controlling them in order for the skill to go up. Just because they aren't gaining skill in that trait does not mean that they're going to be losing skill in that trait. Every skill has its own requisite, I want to say. So, let's say shooting. We all know, because in my last video, shooting, you get that upgraded or ranked up by headshot combos. Wits, they talked about. You have to be surveying from an outpost would help in wits. They have a whole bunch. So there's 35 total skills, right? And they said about half of them are worthless. So in total, we'll say there's around 15 skills. You want to make sure that your community is balanced in all of those 15 in a certain way that would help it succeed in a zombie apocalypse. That's pretty much what this whole game is based about, besides the whole survival thing. There's 7 skills and 6 traits. Skills and traits, I went over that in my last video. I'll have a link in the annotation to that one so you can catch up on that. But then they brought up some really cool signature abilities that I didn't get to see in their last post. The first one is Decapitate, which is pretty self-explanatory. It's a slow but very sure way to decapitate an enemy. There's also Rage, which is another one, which every kill that you get helps gain stamina. And then they also brought in Thievery, which is pretty cool. It's kind of like being sneaky, I want to say. You move quieter when you're crouched, and you can scavenge quieter than normal. Some skills can't be taught, like construction or vehicle repair. If you want some guy to be good at that certain subject, you have to go rescue that survivor. And the next thing we're going to talk about is rescuing NPCs. Pretty much NPCs in general, but the first part of that would be rescuing them. There aren't going to be any NPCs that are exactly the same. They may look the same, but they aren't going to have the same abilities. These guys didn't have time to just put up 1,000 different survivors so that every time you rescued one, it wasn't going to look exactly the same. I mean, they aren't going to look exactly the same. They're going to be generated in some sort of way, but they will bear a striking resemblance. I mean, they may be wearing a hat. That could be the only difference. But the skills themselves are going to be vastly different. The main storyline NPCs, however, they are going to be the same. So let's say you've been playing the game and you decide to start a new one. You get done with that, and the main storyline NPCs will be the same. The ones you rescue, however, are going to be the ones that are going to be different. Not every NPC is going to have a skill that you are going to give a shit about. You could rescue an NPC who was in the war and he's a freaking badass shot. And then the next NPC that you rescue could have been a figurine ice skater, which would just be useless in a zombie apocalypse, unless you could use the skates for something, but I highly doubt that. Switching through NPCs is another thing that a lot of people have been asking questions. They've asked me, and I didn't know what the hell to say, because Undead Labs never told us. But you can switch through the journal and through conversation. So you could be talking to him and decide you want to switch over to him, or you could just straight up go through the journal and say, that guy. There are certain limitations, though. I mean, you could keep switching constantly. There's not any, like, time that you have to spend as that guy. But you can't switch when you're in any sort of sticky situation, pretty much. You can't be in the middle of a mission, and you can't be in the middle of a horde and then be like, oh, I want to switch. Because that NPC that you're switching from is just going to be screwed. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, if you're in a fight and you decide you need a little bit of backup, you can call for backup, but you can't pick a certain NPC. They're just going to send random ones. You don't get to say, I want that guy and that guy. Send them. You don't get to do that. Okay, so this next thing is kicking out NPCs. Let's say you go up to him and you're like, hey man, you're kind of a dick. You took Ted's salad last week. No one wants you here. Please leave. They might fight leaving. He might be like, that was my salad. I ain't leaving. There's zombies out there. And if he does leave, he's probably going to end up taking a whole bunch of your supplies, a whole bunch of your weapons, and then he's going to either go on his own or he's going to go join another survivor group. If you do kick him out, they can come back. You can bring them back in, but you're going to have to earn their trust again. You're going to have to prove that you're worthy again, and you're going to get stuck in the same situation. After you do kick them out, though, everyone's going to kind of have a different reaction. Some could be relieved, like, oh, thank God, I have my salad. And then they could be like, oh shit, he's going to kick me out next. I know it. I can feel it. And they're going to start getting worried and all that shit's going to happen. And then you're stuck in a big hot mess. So you got to make sure you want to do it before you actually do it. The next thing I want to talk about is personalities. Just because I feel like it's going to go hand in hand with that. It's going to affect your whole group. If some guy has a really shitty asshole personality, he's going to affect everyone's attitude. And if everyone's attitude starts to go down, so is your morale. And once your morale hits rock bottom, people are going to start committing suicide, people are going to start doing mutiny, and people are going to take all your stuff and leave, and it's just going to be horrible. I mean, just because their attitude goes down does not mean that you can't fix it. Just have them go out and do a whole bunch of missions successfully, and they're going to be fine and dandy. But the personality is one thing. That's something that I would totally kick someone out for. If they're just being a complete dick, taking people's salads and stuff, hell yeah, they're getting knocked out of this place. But, I mean, they shouldn't be in there in the first place. You just want to make sure you're having everything organized. Kind of a little fact that they brought in, there's not going to be any relationships greater than friendship. I mean, that sounds a little gay, but you're just going to be stuck with friends. You can't have a relationship with one girl, because then that's a completely different thing. They might think about putting that in Class 4, but not in Class 3. Maybe in a DLC, but not in Class 3. Other than that, that's pretty much it. I mean, there is some miscellaneous information that I can go over real quick. Let me see. Stuff normally reacts because of your actions. So let's say if you're out there killing a whole bunch of zombies and you come back and they say, okay, you have to go rescue that guy. It's because you haven't been rescuing people, you were just killing zombies. Let's say you're spending all your time rescuing people, there's a whole bunch of zombies around, you're going to have a whole bunch of missions that tell you to go clean up zombies at certain buildings. Losing stamina won't kill you. There was a big question about that. Stamina isn't going to kill you. Stamina is just like your energy. If you're fighting a whole bunch, yeah, you're going to get tired. Doesn't mean you're going to drop dead on the floor. Gaining it back, it actually comes back pretty quickly. All you got to do is eat a little candy bar or hide in a bush and chill out for a little bit. Gain your stamina back and come back out swinging. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I want to thank everybody for watching. Subscribe and like the video. It means a lot to me. Keep your eye out for that Let's Play. When the game comes out, I'm going to try and be the first person with it up. I've never been the first person with a Let's Play. I've only been doing YouTube videos for about a month. So I'm really happy that I'm going to get a shot at this brand new game. Like them on Facebook. Go do that. I don't know how many they have now. I haven't checked. But do it. Follow them on Twitter if you're a tweeter. I don't use Twitter. I don't see why. But thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
I pack my case, I check my face, I look a little bit older, I look a little bit